not being the right play. It turns out they were wrong. And Sean, Bo, Broncos, they were right. Going to the postseason for the first time since they won the Super Bowl. And as we said to start this show, man, it is just a feeling that I don't want it to be overlooked. I don't want the fact that Buffalo's on the horizon over there to take away from this moment. You got all week to worry about the Buffalo Bills. Let's sit in this for a moment. Let's smell the flowers as to what this team just accomplished. I was tweeting on Sunday before the game, and I said, man, think about what this is. And I actually quote tweeted a Marilat tweet who had a rough go on Sunday. James called them a JV team. And, James, that's his opinion and whatever. It's all good. Everybody has their own opinions. And I said, that's the way that James looked at it. I choose to look at it in a different light. I choose to look at it as this is the best team that they've put on a field since Super Bowl 50. I choose to look at it as this team gives me the most hope when I put my fan hat on since Super Bowl 50. I look at it as they've figured out the ownership equation. They've found a franchise quarterback.
Yep.
Do the coach still drive me crazy at times and I have questions and I'll be critical of him? Absolutely, I will. But right now, he seems to be the man for the job moving forward. They brought Vance Joseph back, a guy that was cast into Broncos, dysfunction for the rest of his life. And he's now turned around the defense. Has a Nick Bonito third most sacks in the league. Has Nick Bonito and Patrick Surtain as 2 of the 4 or 5 candidates as Defensive Player of the Year. Has Zach Allen playing the best football he's ever played. Found Riley Moss and now has a white cornerback as the savior on the other side of Patrick Surtain. Went out and said, Brandon Jones, that's a fit. Not only is it a fit, he'll be better than Justin Simmons. And that's exactly what he has done. So take a minute, step back for a second, and don't get tunnel vision to Buffalo. Look at what this team has accomplished in 1 year.
And that's why the sweet tears of the Bo Nix haters, drink them up.
Yeah.
A little salty, right? I love the taste because, you don't have much to say today. And if you're a Bo Nix believer, when did you know about Bo? Because Sean Payton knew almost immediately, and he was also part of the kind of clandestine maneuvering that the Broncos did. Now, they didn't have to maneuver because he was right there available for them, but you sure as didn't want people to sniff that out. And it was something going back to the owners' meetings and at the coaches' breakfast, and I sat next to Sean Payton for an hour, had breakfast with him. It was a great time. And I got him to talk about J.J. McCarthy. He initially started that meeting of I'm not going to tell you guys what we were doing. I'm not going to tell you guys what we were thinking. These are literal words that came out of Coach Payton's mouth. When I got him to admit what he liked about J.J. McCarthy, I thought we had discovered electricity, like Sean. I thought we had discovered some gold. It was always a ruse. Sean Payton, I got by Sean Payton before the draft. They must love JJ. Yeah, Bo, and they like Bo, but they must love JJ. Remember, George Payton was not at the Senior Bowl.
Right.
Where I was. Now, Cody Rager was there, and I wonder what Cody's reports about Bo Nix were from that game and from those practices. So he threw us all off the scent, but this is a kind of assuredness and confidence that Sean Payton has. He knew from almost day one. He knew from the Oregon Pro Day, and he knew from their private workout where they gave him 80 more throws. And he's bragged about that now. It's I saw the 80 and I knew this is the guy. Mm-hmm. Started telling everybody, this is the guy. Tony Romo had spilled the beans last night about him, Mike Shanahan, and Sean Payton discussing Bo Nix. And anytime you can bring Mike Shanahan into the conversation, that's just what you want.
Yeah.
And they're the Eastern Illinois crew, plus Jimmy Garoppolo. But imagine the resource of hey, Mike, what'd you see from Bo? And then Mike just tells you everything because Mike watches everything and knows everything. And if you're Sean, you're just eating it up.
Yeah.
Just yum, 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 because you know what the kind of rumblings were about Bo. Oh, he's not a first rounder. Oh, half the teams I talk to don't have it. That's what Todd McShay literally said. And I'm not being personal. I'm just telling you, this is what happened before the draft. When the GMs and even some owners that I talked to had told me for 2 years Bo Nix is going to be a top 15 pick, to have that other stuff, I'll clean it up for radio, the other stuff out there that was being said about Bo Nix, Sean Payton almost was okay with that because he was able to get his guy. When Pat Mahomes was taken the moment before he was going to take him with New Orleans, they were going to go from Drew Brees to Pat Mahomes. And then the Chiefs move up 16 spots with Buffalo. Thanks, Buffalo. They move up 16 spots to leapfrog Sean Payton, and they rob Sean Payton of his legacy. Well, guess what? He got his legacy back, and his legacy now tied directly to Bo Nix.
100%. Yeah, they're playoff bound. Bo, we all feel very, very good about. Sean, feel good about what we watched yesterday. Still need to see a little bit more from Sean Payton and his commitment to running the football. He had it yesterday, but again, you're up 3-4 scores and a game that was completely out of control. Did you think Sean would bring the starters out sooner than he did?
I thought they'd get into the fourth quarter, so about the same time. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird. I mean, you're up. The game was over at halftime. Now, I didn't think they were going to come out and start Jarrett Stidham and the backups from half on, but I didn't know that they needed to play any of the fourth quarter and pretty much none of the second half of the third quarter.
Yeah, well, you get a lather, you get out there, you're running, and you're looking good, man. You're looking good in everything you can, and you're building momentum. Believe it or not, even against the Chiefs backups, even when they were clearly playing to not get hurt. Like, we can say what happened. We can say the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City was playing not to get hurt.
Exactly.
They were not playing at full speed, at full strength, whatever. It's not just the backups. Oh, they laid down. The Broncos beat them because they laid down. Yeah? Got to treat them like Debo, man.
Mm-hmm.
Beat them down, beat you down.
Yep.
And unless you take a brick to the face, you're going to be all right as that bully. And the Broncos were the bully yesterday. I don't care if it's against Carson Wentz, Pat Mahomes, whoever, but they got it done. And now you can build momentum for the Bills game. So enjoy this, savor the flavor. Now, here's the funny thing, because you're setting that up, talking about enjoy and think about the last time and all that. You know what Sean Payton's doing? He's having none of that.
No, he's definitely not.
So fans, us in the media, us chuckleheads, we can enjoy this and be like, can you believe that, man? What were you doing at Super Bowl 50? I was doing this. And I was crying because C.J. Anderson texted me, where are you?
Oh, no.
We had just finished as a station with ESPN Denver on, I think it was like January 6th of that year of 2016. And so I go to everything, right? Mm-hmm. Because our station was done and I wasn't yet back at the Fan. I was hired after Super Bowl 50. Guys in the locker room thought I was going to be there because I was there every game.
Yeah.
And so my bowling partner, C.J. Anderson, texts me in the Super Bowl winning locker room, where are you? Mm-hmm. And I'm at home crying because I'm not there. So we're remembering all these things. But you know what Sean Payton's doing?
He's putting together a game plan for the Buffalo Bills.
He's watching
and he's probably pissed off doing it.
He's watching the Dirty Bunch. Hey, and Sean and VJ, you're already going to know this. There's a total tell with their Dirty Bunch. I'm going to tell you guys on Friday what that tell is. But if I know it and I'm a chucklehead, you know Vance Joseph knows it. And you know Sean Payton knows it. They have a complete tell with their Dirty Bunch. Everyone's like, you can't figure it out. It's a dirty bunch. I'm like,
I like that.
Yeah, you can. Look at the sticks. That's my clue. Look at the sticks. So Sean Payton, he's already digging in. They've built momentum. As a fan base, as chuckleheads in the media, sit back and enjoy this thing, man. Drink it in. It's been too long.
I was sitting in the postgame press conference, and we're waiting for Sean, and they're partying in the locker room, and it's all good. And watch Greg Pinner and his guys walk by. As you know, like they come through to go back to locker room and congratulate guys. I mean, as you would imagine, smiling from ear to ear. Now, Greg doesn't come in after they lose and be like, screw all you guys. But you know what I mean? You can tell he's not happy when the game doesn't go the right way.
Right.
He was ecstatic about the situation was. Then Sean comes up, and we'll get to this, and talks about giving the game balls to ownership and Greg Pinner. I thought that was a very cool moment. But in my head, I'm sitting there waiting for Sean last night, and I'm like, it'd just be so Sean to come in here and just be a curmudgeon. To come in here and be angry at us and at the team and at the fans and just do what Sean did. And he wasn't angry, but he wasn't, just like the locker room, and I'm assuming that's where it came from, right? It trickles down. It was we did what we were supposed to do. And now we get a chance to do that again next week in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So he wasn't grumpy curmudgeon Sean, but he also wasn't like, told y'all, look at us now, that kind of moment either.
Right. And I'm glad that happened. And when the Broncos actually put that on X about, quote, this group that cares about you, close quote, and Sean Payton talking about the ownership group and Greg Penner, Kerry Walton Penner, Robson Walton there, Condoleezza Rice there as well in this picture, in this photo with Sean after the game. It's not going overboard with what you did. You did what you thought you were going to do. So why? It's like Barry Sanders scoring a touchdown. You hand it to the ref. Like, you're going to enjoy it, but I am so glad that you tell me from the locker room where this show is at in all times, like, we're going to tell you what those guys felt like. I told you leading up to the week, no one's thinking they're above this. No one's thinking they got this wrapped up. When you tell me that locker room was like excited, but not like overly like, oh my God, I can't believe it, guys. We're the greatest ever. Like, that means to me, their mission is not done, because it isn't.
No.
The season isn't over. You're not going to genuflect to Buffalo. All due respect to Buffalo fans. My best friend, Big E, lifetime Bills fan.
What's up,
right?
Big E? I still need to hang with you, dude.
We got to play Call of Duty.
There's a new we're getting off the rails. There's a new Squid Games version of the Warzone.
I know, we were talking about that.
Night.
I know. We were talking about that the other night. Like, oh, now Squid Game guys run around instead of Shark Boys. But like, it's personal. I look at this and I go, they're not done. No one should be genuflecting to Buffalo. I'm not here to kiss Josh Allen's ass.
Hell no.
I'm here to tell you that's a great quarterback with a terrible head coach. And they've gotten by because Joe Brady running dirty bunch formations and Josh Allen's playing lights out. Josh Allen is tremendous. They've got 2 tight ends to worry about. They've got 3 wide receivers to worry about. They have multiple running backs to worry about. But you know what? I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, there's no way they go to Buffalo. I'm not giving them the hardware.
I did an interview this morning with a Portland radio station. I go on there regularly to talk about Bo because obviously the ties there.
Right.
And they asked me the question, like, man, what's the pulse? Like, how do you feel? How do fans feel about going up to Buffalo? And I used the analogy. I said, I feel great. It sucks knowing that, like, remember back in high school or middle school and maybe the big bully on the block goes, hey, you and me, 3 o'clock flagpole after school, right? You're like, oh, crap, I got to fight the big bully after school. But I'm going to show up. Yeah. You know why I'm going to show up? Because before the fight starts, I'm going to kick him in the nuts while he's not looking, and it's go time, and anybody could win the fight.
Game on.
Just like in Buffalo on Saturday.
Yeah.
Are the Broncos going to be an underdog? Absolutely. Will it be in double digits by the time you get to Sunday? Probably. But do they have a puncher's chance? You bet your freaking you-know-what they do.
You're going to do just like you did on Kansas City radio.
Yeah.
You haven't shared that story.
I haven't shared that
You
yet.
need to share that story because it is awesome.
I tried to get the audio, and they didn't send it to me. I'm sure we should go back and find it, Kev. I'll do that later.
Do you know the name of the station real quick?
It's The Fan.
The Fan in Kansas City.
Yeah.
You'd be shocked to know another station is called The Fan.
And Carrington Harrison, who is actually a friend of mine. He's a great dude.
Nice.
A great dude.
Nice.
And he does local radio.
You're previewing the game.
And he does some national stuff with CBS. Yeah, and I'm previewing the game. I go on a show pretty regularly for Broncos stuff. And we go back and forth. He's really good at radio, so he's good at poking and playing the game and all that. And I'll play back because I like to do it too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wrapping up. And I said, hey, real quick, before you guys let me go, I have a question. And he's like, okay, I still have a couple more, but what do you want to know? And I said, Carrington, I know that the backups are going to play and no Patrick, no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce. So what's the agreement with the referees with all the backups in? And then I got that. Silence. They hung up on me, dude. They hung up on me.
That's awesome.
And then I text Carrington. I'm like, truth hurt a little bit, right? Going back and forth.
Yeah.
It was a ton of fun. I'm considering, I didn't even tell you this, I'm considering calling them later as like a caller.
Yeah.
And then just roasting them as a caller from Denver.
We should do it on the air.
They'll pick it up pretty quick knowing my voice.
Right.
I want to do that a little later.
No, that's awesome. That's what it's about, man. You're going to put it out there and you're going to show up and play for the Chiefs laid down crowd or whatever. I haven't paid attention to any of that today. You know why? I don't care. The Broncos are in the playoffs.
I'm 100% with you, Cease. And I'm seeing some of this, even on our text line today.
You're seeing some of that?
People are still like, well, Bo didn't beat anybody, given that stuff. You know what Bo did? Let me go over a couple of names for you. Bo did for the Denver Broncos and for Broncos country what Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian again, Paxton Lynch again, Brock Osweiler, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco, Drew Lock, Brandon Allen, Drew Lock again, Jeff Driscoll, Brett Rippon, Phillip Lindsay, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock again, Russell Wilson, Brett Rippon again, Russell Wilson again, Jared Stidham. He did what none of those guys could do. which is bring the Broncos out of the world of suck and punch your postseason ticket. That's what Bo Nix did. Any more questions? I feel better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is a literal mic drop moment. Any more questions? Are we done here? The Broncos are in the postseason.
Right.
If you're not partying, I don't know what you're doing.
You should be partying.
Yeah.
You should be partying in a big way.
Yeah. How many people called in today?
What do you mean?
If
for work?
If I was not obligated to be on the air at 10 a.m., you know what I would have done?
Yeah.
Oh, boss, I'm a little sick. I don't know.
Oh, dude, if we didn't have a show, you, me, and Kevin, I don't know that we've gone to sleep yet. We keep this thing rolling.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of, Kevin, wow, that was fast, my man. He found it. He found my moment on Kansas City radio from Friday.
From Friday, yeah.
All right, let's take a listen.
I have a real quick question for you on the way out.
Of course.
With the Chiefs resting a couple of guys, how does that work with the referees? What's the agreement? What's the arrangement? I just don't understand.
Bye, Josh. I can't do that.
Oh, he hit him with I can't do that afterwards.
Can't do it.
That was good. Nice work, Kevin Kistner. That's always fun, man.
Some producers in the market know how to get stuff done
That's
pretty
right.
quick.
That's right. We got one of those on our team in Kevin Kistner. All right, I want to hear a little bit from Sean, too, and a couple of things that he had to say after the game. Well, his first question, he kind of gets away from it, as Sean tends to do, but it was asked about Bo Nix and what he's seen from Bo.
Felt like he was seeing the field well. Obviously, we played well up front. We had decent balance. We converted a lot of third downs, so that kept us on the field. The time of possession mattered in that, I don't know, we had one drive. It felt like it lasted forever. You got to be converting third downs or fourth downs. I can't recall many times today going to that third and long box. So even when we were on third down, it was manageable. Yeah, I mean, he's seen the field well. Gave him some spontaneous plays, like at the line of scrimmage, just to go run. He handled that well. But overall, I was pleased.
And he should be pleased overall. Yeah, not a lot of third and longs. I mean, was there a third in double digits at all throughout the game? I have to go back and look at the game log, but yeah, not off the top of my head. It doesn't say anything. And then he talks about time of possession. How about to start the second quarter? They had the ball in the first. They start the second quarter with the ball and take a 9-minute drive in the second quarter to put 7 points up on the board. And overall, I didn't realize it was this bad, dude. 41 minutes and 49 seconds, the ball was possessed by the Denver Broncos. 18 minutes and 11 seconds by the Chiefs. No wonder they couldn't get 100 yards.
Yeah, well, and part of that is Bo Nix being damn near perfect. What was it, 18 in a row?
Yeah.
18 to 18. The Broncos team record was 14 to start a game.
Oh, okay.
And within one game, because I know some completions go over from whatever. And it was Hugh Millen.
What?
Hugh Millen, back in 1994. Kev wasn't even born yet. So
I was one.
you were one?
I was one.
You were one in 94.
Yeah.
Wow, do I feel old. But yeah, breaking Hugh Millen's long-standing record of 30 whatever years. I guess that would be 30 years,
Yeah.
1994. There you go.
He also broke a Peyton Manning record yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
His, 89.7 completion percentage?
Yep.
Was the highest of all time in a game, and it broke a Peyton Manning
And he
record.
didn't do it on like 12 of 15 passing.
No.
I mean, he was out there dealing, and the passes looked good. It wasn't a bunch of short stuff, although there were some screens involved. Like, he was playing at an incredibly high level. So, yeah, man, you love to see it. And now, enjoy it. Broncos are preparing for Buffalo. You can beat Buffalo. Don't let anyone, I don't care if you're at work, because you always have that one annoying coworker who like wants to just kind of get under your skin on purpose. We call them trolls or clowns. That's what they are. Don't let that guy get under your skin today because you can beat Buffalo.
Yeah.
And don't let anyone tell you like, oh, yeah, you're just going to get beat up by Buffalo, whatever.
Who cares? Even if that's the case, who cares? You're in the postseason. That is what today should be about, is the fact that you are in the postseason. And by the way, you just mentioned, hey, it's not little dink and dunk stuff for Bo Nix. Now, they did that, but the long play to Cortland Sutton, 47 yards. The longest play to Marvin Mims, 32 yards. These are all through the air. The longest play to Devon Bailey, 32 yards. That's that one we're talking about, putting it in a beautiful spot and Devon having to dive to get it. And then a long to Javonte Williams, even in the passing game, of 25 yards. Heck, even little Jordan Humphrey had a 17-yard reception in this game. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different players with 17-plus yards as a reception from Bo Nix. So, yeah, it wasn't dink and dunk on Sunday.
Well, and as I start off the show and Kev pressed the dump button on me, I'm sure you did, Kev. I will clean it up. But, like, y'all, hell, Joe Burrow's not in the postseason. I don't care. Joe Burrow's record this year was the same as it was for Jake Browning last year. Now, that doesn't mean Joe Burrow's not the greatest ever. Joe Burrow is a fine quarterback, so don't at me, bro. But here's the thing. The Chiefs prevented Joe Burrow from going to the playoffs. They just let Bo Nix in. How you like them apples? Mm-hmm. You just let Sean Payton in. You just let Sean Payton sniff the Lombardi trophy.
You matched Sean Payton against Sean McDermott. Right? We play What Doesn't Belong.
Yeah.
If I put coaches in that category and it was Sean Payton, Sean McDermott, and hell, Vance Joseph. What doesn't belong? Sean McDermott is the answer.
The difference in this game, and we'll get into it as the week goes on, is what's the difference between Josh Allen and Bo Nix, and what's the difference between Sean Payton and Sean McDermott? Like, which one of those combined is greater than? That will determine the outcome. And the Broncos, if they play at their game, they can play with anybody. Like, we can play with anybody on YouTube. Hi, YouTube.
What up, guys?
Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a vid. Dover and Cecil are here for you.
You can check out my new Jordan shirt. Christmas gift from Kelsey. You like that one?
Nice.
The other one, I got a bunch of armpit sweat stains on it. I had to throw it away.
Just make it a muscle shirt.
Oh, I could have cut off
You're
the
not a
sleeves.
muscle shirt guy?
I don't have any muscles, so no.
Neither do I anymore. It doesn't prevent me from wearing a jersey, a basketball jersey. The controversy that this show causes on a daily basis.
We're doing good as far as like the show goes and the stuff that matters for our job's sake. We're doing okay.
Right.
But what gets talked about the most is what you wear to work.